So is Maryland a good place to live? Well, I think so, but there's a lot of things that you want to be aware of. So in this video today, we are going to discuss some of the hot topics such as cost of living, weather, safety, things to do, all from an outsider's perspective. So let's get started right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Living in Maryland channel where we discuss all things living here in the great state of Maryland. So if that's the kind of information you are looking for, then you are definitely in the right spot, and we really appreciate you being here. And if you are wondering whether moving to Maryland, purchasing a home here in the state of Maryland is a good decision for you and your family, we absolutely love helping out with that transition, helping folks discuss their options so you can decide, hey, is this the right thing for me and my family right now or not? So however you feel comfortable reaching out, whether that's by phone, text, or email, days, nights, and weekends, we've got your back when moving here to the great state of Maryland. All right, so number one thing that I want to discuss here is going to be the cost of living here in Maryland. And this is definitely something that's important. It's definitely an expensive state here, and we are a more heavily taxed state here in Maryland. So definitely something you want to be prepared for and be aware of if you are making a move here, especially if you are coming from maybe a state that's not as expensive or not as taxed. So definitely something that you want to discuss and research and see if that's something that's going to be acceptable to you. So naturally, when we talk about cost of living, we're going to be discussing and thinking about cost of homes, and it's definitely expensive here in Maryland when it comes to real estate. And if you are looking into purchasing a home, so if you're looking at your typical 3-bed, 2.5-bath townhome in a lot of Central Maryland, you're looking in the mid to high threes and into the 400s, depending on the location. Prices can definitely vary depending on if you're closer to Baltimore or if you're further south down near DC. It's going to get more expensive as you get further south towards DC. And then if you're looking for a single family home, maybe in the 1,800 to 2,000 square foot range, you're looking at definitely into the upper fours, into the fives in most areas, and then on up as you get larger square footage. So those bigger homes, easily can go into the 6s, 7s, and 8s, depending on, different locations within Central Maryland. So definitely something you want to look into. It's definitely an expensive area here with the dual metro area where you've got Baltimore and DC about 45 miles apart. It just seems like our economy is, always, going strong, and lots of job opportunities, lots of things happening. So that real estate is going to definitely reflect that. But another thing that I like to prepare people for is our state income tax here. So I've broken this down in a lot of previous videos, but you pay a local income tax based on the county that you live in. And then you're going to pay, just a straight up state income tax too. So, it can range anywhere from 5 to, maybe 7 or a little north of 7%. Depending on where your income is, what county you live in. So definitely something you want to look into and kind of see what that looks like, because that can definitely add up to a decent chunk of change if that's something that you're not used to. Now, for those of you who are considering purchasing a home here in Maryland and kind of wondering what that looks like right now, things have definitely been leveling out. I know there's not a lot of pros to interest rates going up. I know that makes things more expensive, but there is definitely a good thing that's coming from that. It definitely is leveling out the market to where we're not seeing the crazy competition that we were 6 to 12 months ago. So that just felt so unsustainable. It was so crazy. I couldn't believe what buyers were doing just to get homes during that period of time, but things are definitely settling down. And the good thing is that now buyers can actually look at several homes. Things aren't just flying off the shelf, getting 10 to 12 offers. So you can actually step back and think a little more. You have a little more time than you did 6 to 12 months ago. So I think, for the overall health of the real estate market, that's definitely a good thing. And it's making it to where you buyers have more options. There's a little more negotiation during, this exact time, since your average home is sitting on the market a little longer than it was. So it's not surprising to see a home on the market 7 to 15 plus days if that home is not priced right. So we're definitely seeing a lot more of that. So, things are definitely easing up and leveling out in regards to the real estate market. So if that's something that you're looking into, the market's definitely changed from a while ago. So it's definitely, more and more accessible to more and more buyers now, which is, I think, all good things for the overall health and the future health of our real estate market here in Maryland. All right, now in today's environment of pretty much everything feeling super expensive and just increasing in cost, property taxes here in Maryland are no exception to that. So this is something that I like to prepare people as well for. So I guess it does make sense, as property values are increasing, local counties and governments are going to be stepping in and they're going to be increasing the assessed value of those properties. Our property tax bills in Maryland come out July 1. So we just got those out about a month ago. So just kind of be aware of that as you're looking at properties online, as you're looking at property taxes. Just try to understand that that may not be the brand new bill. It takes some time for that bill to get, kind of syndicated through the different websites. The seller may be getting a credit or two that may not carry over to a new homeowner. So try to just look into those property taxes or reach out to someone to see exactly what those property taxes will look like, so that you're not finding out once you're already under contract what the true tax bill is. So this is something that pops up a lot for people, and we can definitely make sure to look directly on the county website and ensure that you're looking at the true accurate taxes, because that definitely does play a part in what that payment's going to be coming out for people. So something to keep in mind in this environment that we're in of everything going up in cost. All right, number 2 is going to be the weather in Maryland. And this is always an interesting one, just because the weather in Maryland is so unpredictable. Ask anyone here in Maryland and they will tell you the same thing. You just never know what you're going to get. The cool thing is that we get all 4 seasons, of course, and our winters are really typically not that bad. So they're pretty mild. You can usually expect, a snowfall or 2 each winter, but a lot of times it's not, a huge snowfall. So it's kind of cool. You get to see it all. You get to experience the falls and the springs, which are beautiful here. But in regards to, overall weather, it's really all over the place. So you never know, like in April, if you're going to have, a super warm day, or you're still going to be dealing with, a little bit of that cold, maybe a little bit of a late season snow. And then, we're sitting here in early August and our grass started dying 2 weeks ago, which is super early. We haven't had much rain this year. It's been super hot. Nobody really has irrigation systems out here. So it's just like, that's really not normal. Usually we start cutting back on the grass cutting and stuff, and you start seeing it die off, end of August, just because you start getting more of that extreme heat later in the year. But this year's been, different. It's been, very warm. We have not had a ton of rain this summer. So every year seems to be different. And I find myself asking people, locals and stuff, I'm like, is this normal? Is this normal? And it's like, so it just seems like nothing's normal when it comes to weather. But some years are, fairly heavy in rain. Some are definitely lighter, but you're going to get it all here in Maryland. You're going to get a good mix. And it's definitely fun, at least for me, where I was, born and raised in Southern California. The weather's beautiful, but it's also super, super predictable. So coming here and having that kind of that switch up where you just kind of, you get to see it all and you get to experience all those seasons has definitely been fun. All right, so number 3 is going to be safety. So in regards to this, I'm not going to jump into, crime statistics or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there's pretty strict rules about that. But if you have, questions about certain areas, if you're coming here from out of the area, those are definitely private conversations we can have, and I can definitely give you my thoughts on different areas. As I mentioned, I was born and raised in Southern California, so I'm a transplant to this area. My wife was born and raised here in the greater Baltimore, Howard County area. And we've been here for 7 years. And it's, an area that we love and that we're calling home for the long haul. So, it's definitely, but just like any area, like any metro or city area, it's going to have its, good areas. It's going to have its bad areas. So that's something that you want to be aware of. And just kind of do your own research on, talk to people, talk to locals. That's, definitely something that I did a lot, especially in the beginning, and it was super, super helpful. But, when we moved back here, when I moved here, my wife grew up here, as I mentioned, but, it was shortly after the Baltimore riots. And, it's kind of a shame just because I feel like Baltimore still has such a bad rap, and, it's hard to get away from, I guess, the reputation of that stuff happening several years ago, and people still talk, a lot of, negative things in regards, to Baltimore. But I can honestly say that we've spent a lot of time in Baltimore. We've gone to the Inner Harbor. We've spent a lot of time in Fed Hill, Canton, and Fells Point. And for the most part, there's never been any serious issues. Those seem to be fairly safe areas. So of course there's areas within Baltimore that you definitely want to stay away from. So again, try your best to do your own research on that. All right, number 4 is going to be things to do in Maryland. Now, one of the things that my wife and I absolutely love about Maryland is getting outdoors. Just kind of all the scenery and all the opportunities to hike and be outside. So in the state of Maryland, you've got 53 state parks, you've got 23 natural resource centers totaling about 125,000 acres. So if you're looking to get out, hike with the dog, with the kiddos, you are going to have a ton of opportunity here in Maryland. So definitely something to check out. Start hopping online, checking out the state parks, checking out the areas where you can get out. It's definitely something at the top of our list that when the weekends come around, it's always something we're looking to do. And then the other thing that I love about Maryland, especially for me coming from Southern California, is just being so close to so many different things. So I know, maybe some people have experienced that a lot of their life. For me, it really wasn't that way. So being, within, 40 minutes to DC, 25 minutes to Baltimore, 3 hours to the Maryland and Delaware beaches, you're 2.5 hours to Deep Creek, which is just a really cool, lake town, year round. So you can ski up there, you can do the summer thing. They've got a ton of outdoor, things to do. So, just to name a few, you've got Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, where you can go and just get lost out there, which is really fun. I'm unable to join my wife here, but she's actually making a trip down to Duck, North Carolina. And I've heard amazing things about the beaches down there. It's probably about a 5-hour drive, so definitely more of a commute than versus heading out to, say, Ocean City or some of the southern Delaware beaches. But so much to do within 2 to 3 hours. So that's definitely something that I love. There's things to do up in Pennsylvania, heading up to Hershey, PA. A lot of day trip opportunities. So something to look into here in Maryland as well. All right, and the number 5 item on the list is moving to the right area. So something that will make living in Maryland not fun is gonna be moving to the wrong area. And by wrong area, I don't necessarily mean, a good or bad area. Just, is it right for you? Is it the right vibe? And kind of fitting your family's needs as far as what you like to do and kind of what you're looking for and what you need to be close to, right? So, there's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of cool areas in Maryland that have so many different vibes, so many things going for it. So kind of having those conversations and figuring out exactly what you and your family like to do so that you're close to those, so you're not hopefully too far from work. It's never fun dealing with the long commutes, and just kind of feeling that out and seeing what's a good fit. I know for me, when we moved back here too, I fell into this as well. It's so easy to start hopping online and kind of start falling in love with a particular home versus trying your best to do that research on the area that's going to be the best fit for you and your family. Do you have kids? Is that kind of a driving factor in where you want to move to? Do you not? Is there other areas that might be a better fit, maybe closer to nightlife or closer to, more restaurants and things to do? So kind of having those conversations and figuring out exactly what the best fit, for you and your family is. Because in Maryland, just like most areas, there's homes everywhere. There's homes on every corner. So we can definitely, you can definitely find an awesome home, but you can't pick it up and move it. It's always the thing that comes back to rule number 1 in real estate is location, location, location. So figuring out what exactly that is to where you can, come here to Maryland and really soak up that experience and make the most of living in this awesome state. Finding that right spot the first time is going to be huge. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching this video. If you ever have any questions, if you ever need anything at all, please feel free to comment below or reach out, and we will see you at the next video.